What's stopping you? What's stopping you from becoming the best version of yourself? What's stopping you from achieving everything you want to achieve? Is it your situation? Is it the position you're currently in? Is it all the things that have happened to you? To be real, it's none of those things. It's the choices you make right now. Some of the most successful people in the world are not successful because they did things at the right time or had the perfect circumstances, but only because they made the most of what they have. And I'm not talking about the successful people who had million-dollar companies handed down to them from their parents, but I'm talking about the people who are self made and came from no better situations than the one you're in. And I understand you may be having a bad season right now and issues may be piling up, but these losing seasons are essential to creating a winning season. I get it, everybody goes through difficult things, and the best ones are those who don't let those things define them. No, I'm not saying this to make you feel bad or to push you down, but I'm trying to get you to understand the only mindset that gets you successful is how to make the most of what you have right now. Imagine if Kanye West, after getting into that car accident and breaking his jaw, became discouraged to rap and never dropped his debut single, Through the Wire. We would have never got to hear some of the most influential rap albums of the 2000s. Successful people have a turning point where a setback turns into the situation they needed to create the future they've always wanted to have. What are you doing with the vehicle you've been blessed with every day to become a better man? Inky Johnson. Inky Johnson was a cornerback for the University of Tennessee and was a top prospect for the up and coming draft. When a routine tackle went horribly wrong, caused a career ending injury that almost ended his life. But he pivoted. Now he's one of the most influential motivational speakers in the world and inspires the youth to push through adversity. To quote him talking about his injury, he said, "The hardest part of my injury wasn't my injury. The hardest part was seeing people take it for granted every day." He was referring to fellow teammates who didn't take full advantage of the opportunity in front of them. After his injury, he had to pivot. He said, "I'm going to finish what I started. I'm going to get my degree. I'm going to show my little cousins that when we encounter adversity and opposition, we keep it pushing. A lot of people didn't sacrifice for you to be in this moment." And it's true. A lot of the people in your life believe in you and want to put you in the best position for you to succeed. Your lack of effort is almost an insult to the people who believe in you. Take David Goggins, for example. He was abused, he was illiterate, and he weighed over 300 pounds at one point. But if you let all that define who he was, we would have never got to know the story of the Navy SEAL, author, and man David Goggins is known for today. His infamous stay hard mindset and consistent self discipline of the mind is what created the hard worker David Goggins is known for today. And no, you don't have to run hundreds of miles each week, but if you could adopt that mindset that I need to change something and I need to stick with it each day to become a better person in my future, you will be successful. What are you doing today to make sure that your future self is proud? The choices you make at this very moment are so important because I could sit here, scroll on my phone, eat bags of candy, or I could realize that I want to achieve more for myself. And I could say, you know what? I could use this time to go to the gym, or I could work on a video, or some other productive task. Both will have an impact on my future, but only one will make my future self proud. And I'm not saying you need to give up all these tasks for good. Most of these leisurely activities are fine in moderation, but become detrimental to your health and your future once you overindulge in them. Like anything, you need to find balance in your life so that you can become the most optimal you. I know these decisions are difficult now, but they are so important because they make your future decisions that much easier and put you in a better position to succeed. These hard decisions of sticking to something and making yourself better are so important because they not only impact you, but they can impact the people around you. By pushing yourself to become the best version of yourself, you can inspire others to do the same. You can share your own story to others about how you overcame your situation and did not let it define you. Like when coaches say, when you cheat a rep, you're only cheating yourself. And it's true, because a little part of that rep compounds over time and can have the slightest impact in the moment, but in the long run, those little wins and reps add up. We often tell ourselves that we can't do things or we can't achieve things because of our past experiences, but it's false. We use these as a coping mechanism to feel comfortable where we are right now. But if you start to realize that these are really excuses and these are not valid points for why we cannot be better, you start to realize that you can make a change right now. The most successful people in the world are not defined by their past experiences, but defined by who they are in the present moment. Think about it. Some of the most successful people have elaborate, traumatic, and difficult upbringings, but they have a turning point where they didn't allow their past to define who they can be. David Goggins' favorite line, "Stay hard," is so true because we tend to let every little inconvenience and setback and situation have a domino effect of negative impacts upon our lives. But if we can acknowledge the setbacks and realize that even with these setbacks, okay, I have to keep pushing and continue to get better, I will essentially have to stay hard and stay focused. We are not defined by our past situations, but who we are in the present moment. Who we are right now will determine who we are in the future. Like the quote says, the things you do today determine the person you are tomorrow. And that should put it into perspective for you. Every habit, every positive and negative situation will impact the things you are and do tomorrow. Say your goal is to climb a mountain. How would you approach it? You wouldn't just completely start running up the mountain and hopefully look up and you're at the top. No, you take one step at a time, making sure the step in front of you gives you the path to take a better step up the mountain. And even if you get tripped up on a few rocks, you don't just completely fall down the mountain. You make sure that the next step is better than the last. Make sure you're taking the right path that will lead you to the top of the mountain. That is how you should approach every goal. If you take incremental steps towards your goal, you will soon achieve what you want in the long haul. This is why consistency and self discipline are much more important than motivation. With motivation, some days you'll feel like you want to accomplish the world, and the next you'll feel like you don't want to do anything. But with consistency and self discipline, you force yourself to be able to push through any type of self defeating feelings that you have and do what you know you need to do to accomplish your goal in the long run. Each day you attack your goal with the same effort or more than the last. That is how you make the difference between accomplishing your goal and never actually reaching it. So if you watch this video to the end, what are you going to do as your next step? What is your next step to make sure that you reach your goal and have a future that you're proud of? If you liked the video, please drop a like. I'm always trying to get feedback about my content, and leave a comment if you would change anything or add anything, or just how you feel. Feel free to subscribe. It would really help and support me. But other than that, it's been ETP. I'll see you guys in the next one.